new moon and solar eclipse in Aries. This new moon at approximately 19.5 degrees of Aries became exact at 2:20 p.m. New York time, which was 18:20 Greenwich Mean Time yesterday on Monday, April 8, 2024. This new moon coincided with a total solar eclipse. The eclipse reached its apex at 2:17 p.m. New York time, which was 18:17 Greenwich Mean Time yesterday, although the time of totality differed based on location. Solar eclipses always coincide with new moons. A solar eclipse is like a supercharged new moon. It sets the stage for the next 6 months. It's a good idea to set intentions for the next 6 months a few days ideally after the eclipse has passed, after the intensity of the energies have kind of started to wane. This is an especially powerful time for intention setting as we are in Aries season, the initiating season of the astrological year. During eclipse season, we receive energetic downloads. We could call these codes that serve to unravel what we no longer need to carry with us, while also redirecting us in the direction of our highest destiny in this life. Eclipse season is an unsettled time when everything is undergoing recalibration. It is an uncertain time, and it is certainly a time to expect the unexpected. This is a North Node eclipse occurring on the North Lunar Node. North Node eclipses have to do with directing us or redirecting us toward our highest destiny in this life. During this time when the sun and the moon were passing one another, you might have noticed that the energy felt very heavy and discordant, especially before totality. During the eclipse time, it is an open energetic portal. It's as if things are disconnected, like normal reality is on hiatus. My experience of being in totality was that as we approached totality, the energy got heavier and denser and more discordant. And during totality itself, the experience of it, the five senses experience of it, was unbelievable. It was one of the most amazing experiences of my life. But the energy still was very heavy and very discordant. But my experience was as soon as we got to the other side of it, when it started to appear as the sun was rising again, because we had complete cloud cover in Rochester, so we weren't able to see the sun and the moon doing their thing, but it was the experience of the rapid fall into night and then the rapid rising again into daylight. And as we rose again into daylight, it felt like a massive clearing, like an old portal had closed, like old timelines had closed, old karmic wounds were being cleansed and had been during the darkness, and then afterward it was as if this brand new window into a new reality opened, and the energy felt very clear, like almost crystal clear at times. And it was a real palpable feeling of quite a difference between the energy before and after totality. Fascinating, one of the most fascinating experiences of my life. And but even afterwards, and I'm recording this, well after totality now, there still is that feeling of heaviness in the air, although not as intense as before the eclipse. But let me know in the comments below here on the Higher Self channel, what has your experience of the eclipse been? How have you been feeling? And what do you think about all it? I want to know. Lightworkers, pretty much across the board, have been experiencing physical symptoms around this eclipse. For so many reasons, this is one of the most powerful and intense eclipse portals we will experience in our lifetimes. So if you've been feeling heavy, tired, in pain, or just weird in general, you're definitely not alone. And I've definitely been feeling heavy and tired and just weird. And everyone I've talked to has been feeling heavy, tired, weird, and a lot of people in pain. It's really to be expected. I expected everyone to be feeling this sort of stuff. It happened back in 2017, and this is just like an incredibly powerful eclipse, even more powerful, I would say, than 2017 as far as what it's doing for directing us on our soul's destiny and for directing the planet on, the human race's destiny as a whole. So I'm not surprised, and I have not been surprised. But that being said, I know it's uncomfortable. We're feeling dehydrated. You got to drink more water. You got to rest when you can, and just ride it through. And the energy will start to feel less and less dense over the coming days. But let me know in the comments below, what sort of symptoms have you been feeling around this eclipse, and how are you getting through it? Aries is the first sign of the zodiac and the ruler of the first house, the house of self. This house is associated with the rising sign, the ascendant. Your rising sign is the cusp of your first house and is in charge of our personality, how we appear and present ourselves to the world. The ruler of Aries is Mars, the most masculine and aggressive planet. The Aries glyph is a ram. A ram is aggressive, masculine, and relentless. Aries carries a phallic energy to it. It is the spark that starts the fire, that carries the manifestation around the zodiac wheel until it dematerializes in Pisces and becomes ether or spirit. Aries takes the potential energy of the ethereal Pisces and materializes it. The essence of Aries, if you want to visualize it, is a lighter. That's what it is. I demonstrated this on my my live stream that I did for the eclipse, which, by the way, go to my YouTube channel, Matthew John on YouTube, or just go to the pinned comment below the description box. All my links are there, including the link to the live stream yesterday. And I demonstrated at one point, what it looks, what Aries is. It's a lighter. That's what Aries is. The main feature of this intense eclipse is that the new moon pretty much exactly conjuncts Chiron, the wounded healer. Chiron is a minor planet and a comet that is referred to as an asteroid in astrology. In Greek mythology, Chiron was the most famous centaur who was a trusted mentor to many heroes. In astrology, Chiron represents the wise spiritual teacher within us, but it also represents the deepest wounds residing within. Our core wounds that come from past lives and childhood are ruled by Chiron. During this period of Chiron and Aries from 2018 to 2027, we are especially challenged to work with wounds that carry emotional qualities of anger or fear. We are also specifically challenged to work with wounds that derive from the father or other men in one's ancestry. I believe that Chiron's greatest lesson for us is that our wounds are the source of our greatest evolution. Our wounds are the source of our greatest evolution. Chiron's place in the astrological ethers is to craft us into the healers we were always meant to be, through transmuting our traumas into spiritual powers. That's why Chiron is the wounded healer. This North Node eclipse in fiery individualistic Aries is so crucial that it could be said that this is the most important energetic event to date in our ascension lives. This is the one that, more powerfully than ever before, is redirecting us onto our soul's intended path for us in this lifetime. So to synthesize all this, it could be said that during this eclipse and the 28 days to follow, we are being challenged to face our deepest hurts and fears, stemming ultimately from childhood and past lives, and to transmute them into strengths that will propel us into stepping into our highest destiny as healers and spiritual leaders of the new age. This eclipse energy is initiating mass spiritual awakenings, even amongst lay people. Aries' ruler Mars joins Saturn and Neptune to form a stellium in ethereal Pisces, causing nearly everyone around the world to take interest in spiritual matters around this time. The codes downloaded during this powerful eclipse yesterday are going to create a spiritual awakening amongst masses of people. Massive people are going to be initiated into a conscious spiritual journey sometime over the next 6 months, as eclipses have an energetic effect that lasts for approximately half of a year. With Mercury currently retrograde in fiery Aries, in the same sign as this eclipse, we're feeling like we have to speak our truths, as we are still under the effects of the Libra full moon eclipse from a fortnight ago. And of course, we must consider that these Libra and Aries eclipses form an axis with one another and really should be taken into account in relation to one another. People are feeling called to speak up about any injustices or perceived injustices from the past. It's a really strong throat chakra energy. This is a really great time to do some introspection. During my personal experience in totality yesterday, I, talked about how it was important to go inwards, and I did for a certain amount of time during totality. And then I also felt the call to go outwards and celebrate it, and that was my Leo self coming out. But during the totality, a hawk flew right overhead in the temporary, quote, night, unquote, sky. And what does a hawk represent? What is hawk medicine? Hawk medicine asks us to look within. Hawk teaches us introspection. During totality, and when everything is quiet, that it is such a great time to go inward and to understand ourselves better in that moment. And I think I did. I felt some interesting things during it, especially just this subtle feeling that things were being cleared, like karma was being cleared for me personally, and then also for my community. I am very sure that the exact path that this eclipse took was no mistake, that from Mexico through to Texas, Arkansas, Cleveland, Rochester, Syracuse, like everywhere that it touched, it was clearing pain and trauma stored in the ley lines, in the grid lines from hundreds of years ago, from indigenous suffering, from the suffering of African Americans, from the suffering of people in general, from the suffering of the mistreatment of the land through pollution. And, I evaluate I think about my own community in Rochester and just, our history of pain and suffering and pollution. Just like every city, every area has its own unique history of pain and suffering and injustice and violence and pollution. And although it's not an instant effect, of course, it's the codes being downloaded into the grid exactly where the eclipse passes that then over the next coming years creates the circumstances for that healing to occur. And also just to clear the energy that is stored from hundreds of years ago in these grid lines and ley lines. So that's how I saw it. I mean, this eclipse passed right through that Seneca Falls ley line that runs north-south. So, Western New York is a very powerful area. And I know it passed another very powerful area, Arkansas, Hot Springs, Arkansas, which is where the largest crystal deposit in the entire Western Hemisphere is. There was so much about this eclipse that was so powerful and so important for both us individually and as communities and as an entire human collective. So I felt that sense of the karmic clearing happening for myself as an individual, for my community, and also for the world. So really amazing. But it was so wonderful and so appropriate to have that hawk come over and be that reminder of the importance of introspection. So let's harness the energies of this powerful eclipse to do some important introspection. I'm going to focus the journaling questions here on understanding the lessons of Chiron and alchemizing our wounds into spiritual strength, and also on setting focus intentions for the next 6 months. So feel free to pause the video or the podcast wherever you're listening to this in between each question so you can have time to do some journaling. And if you'd like the questions written out, go to the pinned comment below the description box, and you can click on the link to go to the article version of this podcast. What is my deepest core wound? Which emotions are present there? Where is this core wound located in my body or energy field? How do I tend to avoid or get around or distract myself from having to face my core wound? What if my subconscious mind literally crafts my reality so that I don't have to face my core wounds? Can I see how my core wounds and traumas have shaped me into the amazing person I am today? What virtues, skills, and wisdom have I learned from surviving my core wounds and traumas? Are there wounded parts of me within that I still need to face? How do I face them? Do I need to cry things out? Do I need to just be with the wounds? Do I need to face fears? Who do I think my soul is trying to craft me into becoming? What type of impact would the person my soul is trying to craft me into becoming have on others and on the world? How can my wounds and traumas of my past become my strengths in my present and my future? If I were able to overcome my fears, who would it allow me to become? How might it allow me to have a greater positive impact on others and the world? If I could write the script of my life exactly as I'd like it to go, who will I be 6 months from now? What will my life be like? What about a year from now? What about 2 years? What about 5 years? Aries is the ultimate divine masculine sign of the zodiac wheel. Let's take some time now to discuss the divine masculine traits that this eclipse is giving us the opportunity to strengthen. The divine masculine traits. Strength. Clients often say to me that ascension shouldn't have to be so difficult. Well, if ascension was meant to be easy, why would we bother traveling halfway across the galaxy or even from another galaxy as starseeds to take part in it? Some of us on this ascension journey have gone through multiple tribulations in this life alone where we had to gather all of our inner strength simply to survive. Even if you hadn't had that extreme of difficulties, everyone can think of an instance where they had to be strong just to make it through. When creating a life plan, the soul always includes situations in which the character incarnated, you, will need to access their inner strength in order to proceed through the intended lesson. Some souls have created more situations requiring this than others. If you feel like your soul has created a lot of difficulties, then it's by design, and it's because your soul believed that you would survive each and learn valuable lessons in doing so. You're meant to make it through all of your tough times. If you're still listening to this podcast, it's not your exit point, of course. You are meant to stay here and persevere through whatever difficulties you're going through. Your soul is not nor ever trying to destroy you. It just might be challenging you in an extreme way. We could say that one's tenor and resolve while navigating difficult situations is an extremely important virtue to learn while in a human body. Those who have accomplished great things in life all had to overcome significant obstacles in order to do so. Another aspect of strength is literal physical strength. Regardless of your sex or gender, working on your physical vessel, whether it is through exercise or using weights, is healthy for the body, mind, and spirit. Even if you're not a gym rat, and I'm certainly not, there's always something you can do on a daily basis to move your body, whether it's dancing, walking, jumping on a trampoline, yard work, lifting weights, calisthenics, sport, etc. Here are some questions to consider when pondering the role of strength in your life. In what situations do I feel the strength of the spiritual warrior within? How could I bring that feeling into other aspects of my life to increase my productivity, success, and self-esteem? Am I able to cite situations in my life where I used strength to persevere through difficult situations? Was I able to take wisdom from those experiences and use that wisdom to help or motivate others? Do I feel strong in my physical body? If not, could I work on increasing my strength just a bit? How could garnering more strength improve certain situations in my life that are going on right now? What would 10% more strength in my life look like? What would it feel like? Courage. This divine masculine strength is similar to this divine masculine trait is similar to strength, but with its own unique flair. Courage requires strength, though not necessarily physical strength. Courage most often shows up in our life when we are being asked to take a risk or are being initiated into a novel, unfamiliar, and or uncomfortable experience. We can all think of situations in our lives where we took a risk and it paid off. Perhaps you followed a hunch and found yourself rewarded. Perhaps you said screw it and did something fun that was a bit out of the box. Maybe you decided to take a new job in a field that was very difficult or different than your previous experience, and your whole life came together beautifully because of it. Oftentimes, the soul will write into the life plan one or several big situations, big life situations, where courage is one of the intended lessons to be learned. You might be presented with a big opportunity. However, perhaps it might require moving out of your comfort zone. It usually does. If you take the risk, it might mean you pass that particular lesson, not that it'll likely be your last lesson in courage. While if you decide to play it safe, it likely means you'll get another opportunity down the road to show off your inner courage. Do you ever get that feeling that you should just take a leap of faith at some point and go for it? Those are the exact instances when you'll find inner courage paying off handsomely. Here's some questions to consider when pondering the role of courage in your life. What situations can I recall where I acted on the courage of the spiritual warrior within me? Does this mean that I can access this courage anytime I need to? Is there a situation in my life right now where I feel the universe is asking for me to take a risk? How could taking more risks in my life lead to a greater sense of fulfillment within me? Am I showing the courage to speak my truth? What would 10% more courage in my life look like? What would it feel like? Perseverance. If you listen to any successful athlete, entertainer, or business leader speak about their career, they will inevitably talk about perseverance. The ability to persevere through obstacles is what, at one time or another, separates us from becoming successful in a certain field or talent from those who don't become successful. No one has an easy ride to the top. Nearly every elite athlete, actor, musical artist has been told at one time or another that they wouldn't make it to the top or they wouldn't make it at all. Nearly all of them were rejected at one time or another by someone who didn't think they'd cut it. One of the biggest misconceptions out there in the spiritual community, among many, is that if something is difficult, it's not meant for you. This is a misconception. Yes, it's a beautiful thing to be able to step into the flow in your life where things start to come together with grace and ease. However, there's usually a period of hard work and perseverance required before you can step into that period where things flow. And once you do step into the flow, it doesn't mean you won't still have obstacles. There's nothing inherently bad about obstacles. In fact, usually it's a sign that you're on the right path. Because oftentimes when obstacles arise, it's because our soul's challenging us to see if we can overcome these obstacles, because what's waiting for us on the other side is what's meant for us. I wish for all of you listening to this to access the perseverance of your own inner spiritual warrior. I hope that you decide that the things that you want most in your life are too important to not persevere through the frustration of temporarily not getting what you want. You're worth it, and you deserve to manifest your dream life. Here are some questions to consider when pondering the role of perseverance in your life. Do I tend to give up too easily? Am I easily dissuaded? Do I truly feel like I am worthy of my dream life? If not, what beliefs am I holding on to inside of me that are preventing me from feeling worthy? Are there some situations in my life currently where intuitively I feel like I should persevere through obstacles and frustrations? What would 10% more perseverance in my life look like? What would it feel like? Discipline. So the famous quote, "You are what you repeatedly do," which has actually been misattributed misattributed to Aristotle. He didn't actually say that. But the quote is certainly true. Your daily habits become your reality. Many people want to live a better life, whatever that means to them. Maybe they want more money, a bigger house, or a newer, better relationship. Maybe they want to be fitter or have a career that they really enjoy. It's easy to want stuff, but are you willing to put in the work to get what you want? If you want to get good at anything in your life, it requires discipline. If you want to be a good psychic, life coach, artist, athlete, welder, whatever, it takes the discipline to practice your art. If you want to become more relaxed and at peace, then it would certainly help to incorporate daily meditation time into your schedule. When you dabble in something, you can only go so far. But when you spend time developing a skill or working on it every single day, you're going to become a master at it. Prioritizing your schedule goes hand in hand with establishing discipline. Many people have their hands in too many jars at once, and because of that, they don't progress as quickly in their career. You've got to be able to prioritize what is the most important thing in your life at any given time. Here's some questions to consider when pondering the role of discipline in your life. If I were to be more disciplined with my spiritual practices, what positive changes might I see in my life? What are the types of activities or time wasters I would need to cut out of my life in order to have more time to have disciplined practices? Would I be willing and ready to cut out some of these time wasters, or not yet? What could having more discipline do for my career or my art? What could having more discipline do for my physical body? What would showing 10% more discipline in my life look like? What would it feel like? Lustful energies about. We are normally feeling quite concupiscent during Aries season, as is Mother Nature, but we are especially feeling this at this time as Venus is in passion and lustful Aries, sextiling Scorpionic Pluto. Let this serve as a reminder to be wise in how you use your sacred sexual energies. Many people will take interest in tantric exercises around this time, which is a wonderful thing. Jupiter and Uranus conjunction incoming. We are getting closer to the much anticipated conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus to occur on Earth Day, April 20th. As of now, these two heavyweight outer planets have moved within 3 degrees of orb from one another. I will discuss this conjunction in depth on the upcoming full moon in Scorpio podcast, but in short, this conjunction is bringing us incredible technological innovations. So many amazing light workers will have ideas for new technologies, techniques, and projects downloaded through their consciousness around this time. If you are a creative, inventive, and innovative type, pay attention to what sorts of insights and inspirations you receive over the next few weeks. Wishing you a joyful and transformative new moon and solar eclipse in Aries. With love, this is Matthew John. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Please do me a favor. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. Subscribe to the Higher Self channel for all of my astrology content and also for videos that I post from other creators as well. And go to the pinned comment in the description, in the pinned comment below the description box. All of my links are there, including the link to the Eclipse live stream yesterday, which was just amazing. So many amazing guests came on. We had Alan Steinfeld, John Burgos, Adam Apollo. We had Rick Levine, who's just such a master at astrology. We had Astrologer Babe. We had Nikki Lee. And you get to see totality as I experienced it here in Rochester. And it was just so much fun. Check out that replay on my YouTube channel. Again, go to the pinned comment below the description box. Or if you're listening on another podcast platform, just type in Matthew John into the YouTube search bar and you can't miss me. It's Matthew John, Spiritual Teacher. And I am also getting really, really excited about our upcoming Mount Shasta retreat. It is just about 5 weeks away. I can't believe it. I've been looking forward to this for over a year. And I have space left. I have 2 rooms left. I have rented out the entire retreat center. It's at Numa Retreat Center in Weed, California on Stewart Mineral Springs. You literally walk outside of your apartment and you can go take a dip in the mineral springs. You can walk right outside the gates of the retreat center and literally see the mountain there. You're going to get to go with us on expeditions to Pluto's Cave, which is literally a portal to Agartha, the sand flat where we're going to view and call in extraterrestrial ships. Hedge Creek Falls, Lake Siskiyou, where we're going to do powerful shamanic ceremonies to connect with the fairies and the earth spirits. You're going to get to watch me right up close, trans-channel the Agarthans, the Telosians, the Pleiadians, the Syrians, the Arcturians, the Lyrans, the Blue Avians, and maybe other collectives that come through me. And you're going to get to ask questions through me of these collectives. You're going to get to participate in powerful healing sessions from me, from my assistant sound healer, Kathleen. You're going to get to just bask in the very high vibrational energy of being at the root chakra of planet Earth in Mount Shasta. And if you're listening to this and getting excited or feeling vibrations, listen to that desire. There's something there for you. And really consider joining us on this sacred journey to Mount Shasta. This is an all-inclusive 5-day, 4-night retreat, May 15th through 19th. I roll out the red carpet for you. Everything is included. You just got to get there. We have a group hotel in Medford, Oregon for the night before, the night after if you're flying in. We take care of all the transportation in our shuttles. All of the meals are provided, and it's incredible cooking. I was just sent by one of the leaders of the retreat center the menu for our retreat, and oh my God, I'm salivating. Unbelievable menu, and you have the option between vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, meat. You can have anything you want, and it is going to be just such a spectacular experience for the 5 senses, and also really healing and activating. My intention is for everyone that ends up at this retreat, wherever you're at with your spiritual gifts and talents and skills and your ability to be a spiritual leader for the new age, speaking of Chiron, that you're going to leave at a higher timeline of all that. And I know for sure that that is going to be the case, that this retreat and this group container that we're creating at Numa Retreat Center in Mount Shasta is going to be elevating everyone that's there, including me, into the next level of our individual journeys. And we're also going to be doing incredible grid work there as well. Go to my website, okay? The link is in the pinned comment below the description box. Go to the courses, events, and retreats page. Scroll down. My Ascending is One. That's the online group mentorship program. You can check that out as well. But scroll down a little bit to the upcoming events. Click on the digital brochure for the Mount Shasta retreat. Read over the whole schedule. Take a look at the photos. And I can offer you a 20% discount if you sign up for Ascending as One first and then sign up for the Mount Shasta retreat. But I have a deadline for that, and that's April 13th, this Saturday. This Saturday is the cutoff date to save 20% with the Ascending as One program. After that, there will be no more discounts for the Mount Shasta retreat. Okay, so if you want to get that 20% discount, what you need to do is email me right away. youaredivinehuman@gmail.com. Again, I only have 2 rooms left. youaredivinehuman@gmail.com. My email is also in the pinned comment below the description box. Tell me that you want to sign up for the retreat with the 20% Ascending as One discount, and I'll get you all set up. I need a $500 deposit to reserve your room, and then the balance has to be paid off by the end of April to retain the discount. And you'll also end up with 3 months of Ascending as One, because you sign up for one, you get 2 bonus months with the retreat, and that's VIP. So you're going to get 3 personal readings with me where you can ask me literally anything, okay? Plus, you'll get to work so much with me face-to-face in Mount Shasta. So I know a lot of you are probably listening to this and feeling like, oh, wow, that sounds really good. Yeah, it is. It is really good. And if you look at the prices in the brochure, it's very reasonable for an all-inclusive 5-day retreat. If you're not sure, or if you have some reservations about it for whatever reason, or you just want to talk to me first, I'm happy to set up totally free phone consultations, or if you're out of the country, WhatsApp or Zoom, to go over the retreat and to just share my personal experience of what my retreats are like and what you can expect, and just to talk about any concerns or reservations you might have. Email me, youaredivinehuman@gmail.com, and let's set up a phone consultation if you're interested. And if you are not able to come to the Mount Shasta retreat, and a new month of Ascending as One is beginning this Sunday with Healing Your Throat Chakra. It'll continue with Connecting with Lemuria, How to Do Shamanic Drumming and Syrian Channeling. That's a VIP call. And finally, Nutrition for Ascension. So it's going to be an awesome Ascending as One month. I'm enrolling people this week to join in, whether you're going to do the Mount Shasta retreat or not. So if you want to join in Ascending as One, join VIP. That will get you a private reading with me as well. And you can fill out the form on the Courses, Events, and Retreats page to get yourself enrolled in Ascending as One. All right, everyone. Anything else? Any other questions, comments? Email me, youaredivinehuman@gmail.com. Please comment below on this video if you're listening on the Higher Self channel. Let me know what resonated with you. Let me know what the most impactful thing you can take from this podcast. Let me know how you did with the journaling questions and what insights, like the Hawk Medicine says, what insights, came about through your introspection. And really, journaling is absolutely one of the best ways to do introspection, if not the best way. So let me know what your experience has been. Let's have a nice dialogue in the comments section. And I will look forward to speaking to you in just about 2 weeks on the upcoming full moon in Scorpio, which I love, being a Scorpio sun. So that'll be exciting. Until then, everyone, please remember to be kind to yourself, to be kind to others, to be kind to animals, and to be kind to the earth. With love, this is Matthew John.